My husband's ex-wife showed up at our door with a 5-year-old who looks exactly like him. What I did next shocked everyone, including myself. I always thought I knew exactly what kind of woman I was, Piern. The kind who would never raise another woman's child, especially not my husband's secret baby with his ex. Then life handed me a test I never studied for. It was a regular Tuesday evening. I was making dinner while my husband James was working late again. The doorbell rang, and there stood Melissa Purtai, the ex-wife I'd never met but whose face I knew from old photos. Beside her was a little girl with James' unmistakable amber eyes and cleft chin. "I'm not here to cause trouble," Melissa said, her voice shaking, "but Lily has leukemia. She needs family medical history and possibly bone marrow. I wouldn't be here if we had any other option." My world tilted sideways. The timeline was unmistakable. Parent Lily was conceived during their separation, just months before James and I started dating. He had sworn there was nothing complicated about his divorce. I invited them in, my autopilot hospitality hiding the earthquake inside me. While Lily colored at our kitchen table, Melissa showed me medical reports and whispered, "He doesn't know. I found out I was pregnant after the divorce was final. I thought we could manage without him." I should have been screaming or throwing things. Instead, I found myself making hot chocolate for a little girl who had James's way of wrinkling her nose when concentrating. "Does she like marshmallows?" I asked. "Meanie ones," Melissa replied, tears forming just like him. When James came home, he froze in the doorway. The color drained from his face as recognition, confusion, and then understanding washed over him. Before he could speak, I took his hand and led him to the backyard. "She has leukemia, James. She needs you. Whatever happened between you and Melissa doesn't matter now." "I didn't know," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I swear I didn't know. I believe you," I said, surprising myself with how much I meant it. "But right now, here is a little girl in there who needs her father. We can figure out the rest later." The next weeks were a blur of hospital visits, DNA tests, confirming what those amber eyes already told us, and bone marrow compatibility testing. James was a partial match. I wasn't a match at all, but I organized the donor drive that found Lily's perfect match, Parrot, my 19-year-old niece. My sister asked me why I was helping the child of my husband's affair. It wasn't an affair, I corrected her, and even if it was, how is that Lily's fault? The truth is somewhere between making hot chocolate and holding Lily's hand through her first chemo session. Something shifted in me. This wasn't about James or Melissa or even me anymore. It was about a 5-year-old girl who deserved every fighting chance. 3 months into Lily's treatment, Melissa collapsed from exhaustion at the hospital. With no family nearby, I found myself taking Lily home with us while Melissa recovered that weekend. Lily and I baked cookies, built blanket forts, and fell asleep watching Disney movies. When she woke up crying from nightmares, I held her until she drifted back to sleep, her small hand clutching my pajama top. "Are you my stepmom now?" she asked the next morning matter-of-factly. "Would that be okay with you?" I asked, heart pounding. She nodded solemnly. "You make better pancakes than pihashis. But don't tell her I said that." When Melissa was released, we had a conversation I never imagined having. We created a co-parenting plan. Part A, not just for during treatment, but for after. For the future we were all determined Lily would have. Yesterday was Lily's 1-year remission anniversary. We celebrated with a party. Parent Melissa, James, me, both sets of grandparents who finally put aside their shock and confusion, and my niece, the bone marrow donor who's now Lily's favorite blood sister. Someone at the party asked how I could accept this situation so gracefully. I looked over at Lily wearing the supereller cape I sewed her with, James's smile and Melissa's laugh, and realized the truth. Sometimes life doesn't ask permission before changing your heart, I said. Sometimes the family you never imagined becomes the one you can't imagine living without. I used to think love was a limited resource to be carefully guarded. Now I know it's the only thing that multiplies when you divide it. If you want to know what happened when James' parents tried to contest our co-parenting arrangement, click share for part 2.